Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yesterday, excuse me. So yesterday we saw what is a relation also, right? So relation is nothing but the subset of what? Subset of the Cartesian. Fill it up. Relation is a subset of the Cartesian
Product of sets.
Cartesian product of sets, right? So we saw what is the relation. Let's try out few examples, and then today we will start with functions. So example 7. So A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Define a relation R from A to A, right? So define a relation R from A to A by R is equal to X comma Y such that Y is equal to X plus 1. Depict the relation using an arrow diagram. Second is write down the domain, codomain, and range of R. I'll tell you what it is. Okay. Now, R is equal to what? R is a set of ordered pairs, and the ordered pair should satisfy what condition? Y is equal to X plus 1. So, you're trying to define the Cartesian from A cross A. So, from the set A, you're defining the Cartesian product to the same set A. Right? Y is equal to X plus 1 means what should I write?
1, 2.
When I substitute X as 1, then the first term will be 1, 2. Similarly, when I substitute X as 2, what will be the value of Y? 2, 3. When I substitute the value of X as 3, what will I get?
3, 4.
3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6. And so when I substitute 4, I get 5. When I substitute 5, I get 5, 6. When I substitute 6, I should get
6, 7.
Right. So this is going to be the relation. Right. But there is a small mistake in this. Can you correct it?
6, 7 won't come, sir.
Why?
Because 7 is not part of A.
So here 1, 2. 1 and 2 both should come from which set? Here, what is the input set and the output set? Both are the same set A.
Yes.
So the set A does not have 7 in it. So we are not supposed to include 6, 7. So don't write that, it will go wrong. So this is the relation. Next is they're asking us to depict the relation using an arrow diagram. So if I take the set A and set A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1 is related to 2, 2 is related to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, and 5 to 6. 6 is not related to anything. So that point is clear, no? So this is how the arrow diagram is. Now they are asking, write down the domain, codomain, and range. So what is the domain?
Domain is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5, 6. What is the range? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right. So you are doing A cross A, no? So whatever is the second set, whatever is the second set that you have, that second set is what is called as the codomain.
So I have a doubt.
Yeah, tell me.
How can 6 come in domain, sir?
Yes,
The relation is up till only 5.
No, 6 is not a domain. I'm sorry, it's my mistake. So I wrote it in a hurry because only 5 is there. No? So 6 is not. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Range is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what is the codomain? Codomain by default, see, if you're doing the Cartesian product, if a relation is written as a subset of A cross B, whatever is the second set after that cross, that set is the codomain. You need not look at the result at all. Directly you can write it. Sorry, guys, able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Shall we try the next one? The figure 2.6 shows a relation between the sets P and Q. Write this relation in set builder form, in roster form, and what is its domain and range. So the relation is given like this. 9 is a term which is related to
3 and minus 3.
So I can write it as 9, 3 and 9 comma minus 3. So there are two ordered pairs. Similarly, 4 is related to 2 and minus 2. 25 is related to 5 and minus 5. Then what can you say? So first term is the square and the second term is the number for which the square is written, right? So how can I write? The first term is the square of the second term. So generally when you write the ordered pair as x comma y, then how will you establish the relation?
X is the square of y.
X is the square of y. Okay. So how you write is, I will take a new page. So I write it like this. R is equal to, R is a relation x comma y such that x is square of y and x belongs to set A and y belongs to set B. Okay. So if it is taken as P and Q, I hope you're able to understand. See here, there is a mistake in this. Can you tell me what it is?
Could you repeat?
There is a mistake in the place where I have underlined in the textbook. So they have written it as y belongs to Q and the Q is in bold. When the Q is in bold, which set does it belong to? It belongs to the set of rational numbers.
Rational numbers.
Right, but here it is not rational numbers, it is just the name of the set Q. But they have written it, they have printed it as y belongs to rational numbers. So don't look at that and get confused. You would understand. So x comes from the set P and y comes from the set Q. So how do you write it in the roster form? 9 comma 3, 9 comma minus 3. Similarly, 4 comma 2, 4 comma minus 2, 25 comma 5 and 25 comma minus 5. And what are they asking? What is the domain and range? What is the domain? Domain is 9, 4, 25.
4, 20.
Range?
5, 2, 3, and 5.
Is it only 2, 3, and 5?
Plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3, plus or minus.
Yes. So minus 2, minus 3, minus 5, plus 2, plus 3, plus 5. So these are all the range. So codomain and range are the same here. Right? So codomain and range are the same in this case. So here, what will be the codomain? Codomain is set
Q.
Q.
Set Q is a codomain. So here also. Similarly, ninth one. Let A is equal to 1, 2, B is equal to 3, 4. Find the number of relations from A to B. So what are the number of relations possible from the set which have elements m and n? 2 power
mn.
2 power mn, right? So 2 power, in this case, what will the answer be? 2 power
4.
4.
So there are 16 relations possible. See, if anyone is not able to understand, please let me know. Okay? Don't hesitate. If you have a doubt, you should get it clarified. If anyone is not clear, want me to explain, I'm ready to do it. But you have to ask. Okay. So shall I proceed to exercise 2.2? So let A is equal to 1 to 14. Define a relation R from A to A by R is equal to x comma y such that 3x minus y is equal to 0, where x and y both belong to the set A. Write down its domain, codomain, and range. So can you write it? So what is the relation? R is equal to, you can write in any form. So 3x minus y. So in the place of x, what can I substitute? So 3x minus y is equal to 0 is there. No, I better suggest you to write it as y is equal to 3x. Okay. If you write it as y is equal to 3x, you can substitute one input this side. You can keep checking the output on the other side. So 3x minus y. So if I take x is equal to 1, what do I get the value of y as? 1, 3. Next, 2,
6.
3,
9.
4, 16.
4,
Is it 12? 4, 12.
12.
12. 5,
15.
Should we write that?
No, sir.
No,
I should
sir.
not write because
It's up till
15.
4.
So X and Y both belong to set A. Set A does not have 15, so you should not write it. So you should stop with this. So if I stop with this, then what will be the domain for me?
1, 2, 3, 4.
That's it. So the set 1, 2, 3, 4. And what will be the range for me? The set 3, 6, 9, and 12. Then what will be the codomain? They asked codomain, no? Yeah, codomain.
From
Codomain
1
is
to 14.
1, 2, 3, so on till 14. So this is going to be the codomain. Right? Next. So if you're clear with this, you can do the next one. Define a relation R on the natural number set by given by the expression R is equal to X comma Y such that Y is equal to X plus 5, where X is a natural number less than 4 and X comma Y belongs to natural numbers. So depict the relation using roster form, write down the domain and range. So second, so R is equal to X comma Y such that Y is equal to X plus 5. Okay, X is a natural number less than 4. So how to solve this? So X is a natural number less than 4 and X comma Y both belong to N. So what are all the input values I'm allowed to give? 1, 2.
1, 2, and 3.
1, 2,
Because
3.
4 should not be included because 4, say they're saying less than 4, not less than or equal to 4. So 1, 2, 3. Then what is the value of Y that will come out?
6, 7, and
So I'll directly write the relation. R is equal to 1 comma 6.
2, 7, 3, 8.
And 3, 8.
That's it. Okay, there is no condition that is imposed on Y. Only X is a natural number less than 4. Okay, so depict this relation using the roster form. Write down the domain and the range. Domain is 1, 2, 3. Range is
Range is 6, 7, 8.
6, 7, 8.
the domain is 1, 2, 3. Range is 6, 7, 8. Okay, next. Let's do the next one. So A is 1, 2, 3, 5. B is 4, 6, 9. Define a relation R from A to B by R is equal to X comma Y such that the difference between X and Y is odd. X belongs to A and Y belongs to B. So write R in the roster form. So the difference means it is not the subtraction. Okay. So difference between X and Y means it can be X minus Y or Y minus X. But that has to be an odd number. That's it. Okay. So how to proceed? How? So A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 5. B is 4, 6, 9. Define the relation R from A to B. So how do I write, guys? So R is equal to X comma Y. So what are the values I can choose? Choose such that the difference is odd. So what is the difference between two odd numbers?
Even.
Even number. What is the difference between two even numbers?
Even.
Then which difference will give you an odd number? The difference between
Odd and even.
odd and even will give you. So you need to choose the odd numbers on one side and even numbers on the other side. Suppose if I take 1, then what is the ordered pair I can form? I can form 1, 4.
1, 6.
I cannot do 1, 9 because 1 minus 9 will give me an 8. Right? Similarly, if I choose 2, 2 is an even number. So what should I choose on the
2,
other side?
9.
2, 9.
3.
3, 4, 3,
4, 3, 6.
3, 9 will not work because both are odd numbers. So 5.
5,
5,
4, 5,
4, 5, 6.
That's it. So I hope you understood. So they asked us to write in the roster form. That is how we did. So what is the explanation you will give? So when you write this in the exam, okay, what is the explanation you will give? You will say the difference between two odd numbers is odd, and similarly the difference between two even numbers is also. The difference between two odd numbers is even, and the difference between even numbers is also even. Hence, for this condition to get satisfied, the numbers chosen are supposed to be a pair of odd and even. So that's why we choose it like this. Fourth one. The figure 2.7 shows the relationship between the points between the sets P and Q. Write this relation in set builder form. So 5 and 3, how are they related? They are not multiples. Different. So 5 is equal to, 3 is equal to 5 minus 2.
2.
So if I take 3 as y, always the input is taken as x, output is taken as y. So y is equal to
x minus 2.
So how do I write the relation? R is equal to x comma y such that y is equal to x minus 2 where x belongs to which set?
P.
P.
And y belongs to
P and y belongs to Q.
Q.
I have written it. That's it. This is how you write it in the set builder form. So how do you write it in the roster form for this question? 5 is related to 3, 6 is related to 4, so 7 is related to 5. So 5 comma 3, 6 comma 4,
4, 7, 5.
That's it. Easy. Yeah. We'll go to the next
Sir,
one. Yeah, tell me.
I have a doubt, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
What is codomain in general? So, like in every question, what is codomain? So I got confused in between.
Codomain is nothing but the second set, that is. Co means something which is associated to. So generally, when you take the first set, okay. So the first set which are participating in the relation. In the first set, you will have certain elements. Okay. So this is the first set.
Okay.
This is the second set. Let's say 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm randomly writing. Okay. So let's say I'm drawing a diagram like this: 1, 2, 2, 3, and 3 to 4. Now, what are all the elements from the set A which are participating in the relation? So participating means which is a part of the arrow diagram. So what are all the elements from the first set which are participating in the relation according to the diagram that I've drawn?
1, 2, and 3.
So if you are able to write those elements in a set, then that set is called as the domain. So domain is nothing but, so domain is the set of all input values which are part of a relation. I'm putting it in a very simple English, okay? So domain means it is a set. Domain is a set of what? Set of all the elements which are participating in a relation. Okay. Then if I ask you the range, then what will you say?
2, 3, 4, 5, sir. But
so
my doubt is...
No, it is only 2, 3, 4. So I've told 1 is related, 3 is related to 4. 5 is not there.
Okay, sir.
2, 3, 4. That is the range. Whereas the complete set B, the second set B completely is what is called as codomain.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So generally it will be like this. A range is a subset of codomain.
I got it, sir.
Now got it? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So shall we do the next one? So fifth one, right? A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. R be the relation on A defined by the order per A comma B such that A comma B belongs to A and B is exactly divisible by A. So B is divisible by A means A is a factor of B. That's how we can take. How can I say? So what can I say? A and B should be in such a way that the second number is divisible by the first number. So 1 is divisible by. So how can I write? If I take 1, then what are they saying? The second number should be chosen in such a way that the second number is divisible by the first number. 1. So what is the second number I can put? I can put 1 first, that's 1 and 1. Or else I can think of 1 and the second number is divisible by the first number. 2 is divisible by 1. Is there any confusion?
No, sir.
No, right? So 1 comma 2. Next is 1.
1, 3.
B should be divisible by A. So 3 is divisible by 1. So 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3, 1 comma 4, and 1 comma 6.
6.
I can write. So I will write it here. 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, 1 6. Right? Now if I start with 2. So what is a number which is divisible? What is the next number should be divisible by 2? What is the least number that will be divisible by 2? That is itself. So 2 comma 2. Then
2,
2,
4.
yes.
2, 6.
That's it. Then I will start with 3. So what is the least number divisible by itself? It is
3, 3.
3 comma 3 and 3
6.
Next. I should choose 4. 4 comma.
4.
Is there anything else?
No, sir.
No, right? So next one.
6, 6.
Are we done? So this is how you write 6 comma 6. So find the domain of R. Domain is 1, 2, 3, 4,
3,
6.
4, 6.
The whole set. What is the range? Range is also 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay. Next. The next one is write the relation R. Oh, sixth one, right? Sixth one is determine the domain and range of the relation R given by R is equal to x comma x plus 5 such that x is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So sixth one. So if the first number x is taken as 0, what will be the value of y?
5.
It's a very simple thing. Then we will choose 1, 1 comma 6, 2 comma 7,
7.
3 comma 8,
4,
4.
9. 5, 10.
That's it.
Sir, so in this case, what is the codomain, sir? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Or
In this case, it is difficult for us to define because they have not given. So here we cannot define codomain, rather we can say what is the range, that's it. Because in this question, they should give you x is coming from where and y is coming from where.
okay, sir.
Okay. Because they spoke only about x now, I hope you're able to understand. They spoke only about input values. They didn't speak about output values. So you can
Okay,
speak
sir.
only about domain range. Yeah. Seventh one. Write the relation R is equal to x comma x cube such that x is a prime number less than 10 and you have to write it in the roster. So x is equal to, what is the prime number that you can think which is less than 10? So starting with?
2.
So 2 comma 8. Because when you substitute 2, what is y term? Y is x cube. So next.
3, 27.
27. 3, 27.
This
5, 125.
5.25. Next.
7, 340.
So
That's
there is
it.
a relation. That's it. So let A is equal to xyz, B is equal to 1 comma 2. Find the number of relations from A to B. So this one is known, right? So m and m into n. 2 power?
2 power 6, sir.
2 power 6 is going to give you how much? 2 power 5 is 32. 2 power 6 is 64.
64, sir.
64. Yeah. So 64 relations are possible. So 7th is over, 8th is over. So let's do the R, the ninth one. Let R be the relation on Z. Z means integer because it's given in bold. On Z, defined by R is equal to A comma B such that A and B both belong to integer and A minus B also should be an integer. Find the domain and range of R. So R be the relation on Z such that R is equal to A comma B such that A comma B belongs to Z, A minus B is an integer. Find the domain and range of the relation. So what will it be? Do we need to do this question?
It will be Z only, sir.
It will be Z only. You need not do it because Z is not a limited set. It is an infinite set. It's not a finite set. It's an infinite set. So you will have infinite set combinations. It's a never-ending combination. I can take A as 0, B as 0, A as 0, B as 1, 0, minus 1. It's unlimited combinations, but all those combinations will come from which set? From the integer set. So the domain and range in both the cases will be this set. Okay.
Understood.
Yeah. So if you're done with this, we can understand what is a function. Okay. So a function is also a relation only. Okay. So actually, this is the order in which it goes. So the whole concept of relations and functions starts with the concept of ordered pairs. That is the Cartesian product. So from Cartesian product, what we define is a relation. If this relation is given a specific condition, then that relation becomes a function. So relation and function are not two separate terms. Function is a special type of a relation which has specific conditions to be followed. Okay, that is what the definition says. A relation f from set A to set B is said to be a function if every element of set A has one and only one image in set B. Let me explain what it is. Okay. So if you try to draw a flow chart, this is how it looks. This is the order throughout. Nothing else outside this. If I keep this aside, I will show you certain. Okay. For example, if I ask you about this question, I'm showing you a Venn diagram. So if I ask you to say whether it is a relation or not, what is it a relation? Is it a
Could you repeat? Your voice is breaking.
No, I'm saying I put a tick. No, I'm saying I've shown you
Yes,
the
sir.
Venn diagram. So sorry, not a Venn diagram, an arrow diagram. Is this a relation or not?
Yes, sir. It's a relation.
It's a relation because it is a subset of the Cartesian product of sets. So what are the Cartesian products? I can write A comma Ali, A comma Banu, A comma Binoy, A comma Chandra, A Divya. So like this, I can write 15 combinations. Out of the 15 combinations, I'm trying to define specific relations in such a way that A is related to whom? Ali, and B is related to Banu and Binoy, and C is related to Chandra. Okay. So this is a relation, no doubt about this in our mind. Now I'm slightly extending the question. Is this relation a function?
No, sir.
The answer is no. Why?
Because B has two
Yes.
results.
Yes. So each element in set 1, okay, I'll not use A and B. You can either remember it as input set and output set. So I'm repeating it again. Listen. If each element in the input related to one element in the output set, then that kind of a relation is said to be a function. I'll repeat it. Please make a note of it. If each element in the input set is related only to one element in the output set, so element related to 2 elements in the output, that should not happen. It should be related maximum to one element. Are you guys able to understand? Now I'm going to ask you a question. Is this a relation? My question is specific. Is this a relation?
Yes, sir.
Is this a function?
Yes, sir.
But one more point to be added. Every element should have at least one image. So since this is not having an image, this type of a relation is also not a. So for any relation to be a function, what are the two conditions to be satisfied? Each element in the input set, I'm using the word each, means every should be one element or maximum to one element in the output set. So why is this not a function? Why is this not a function?
6 does not have an image.
6 is not participating in the relation. So this is also not a function. Okay. What about this one? It is a relation without any doubt, but is it a function?
But it's not function.
It is not a function because 9 is having more than one element linked in the output set. So it is not a function. So is this a function?
Yes, sir.
It is a function. Right, because both the things are satisfying. Every element is having one image in set. Okay. So now I will slightly twist and draw the diagram. Observe. So A, B, C, 1, 2, 3.
Sir, so I have a doubt.
Yeah, tell me.
So we can say every function is a relation, but not every relation is a function, no, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Every function is a relation. Because function, the definition itself goes like this, no? So the definition itself is starting with the term relation.
Okay, sir. Understood.
Yeah. So A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. First case, second case. Is the first case a function or not?
No, sir.
Because
A has
one
two
input is having two outputs.
outputs.
And C doesn't have any.
C doesn't have. Okay, if I put C also like this, no. Is this a function?
No, sir.
No, sir.
It is no because
A has
A is having two outputs. What about the second case?
It is a function.
What about the
Yes,
second
sir.
case? It is a function. Okay, so don't get confused between the first case and the second case. All the inputs can get linked to one output. So here, what is happening is, all the inputs are getting linked only to one particular output. It is not necessary that all the outputs should be a part of the relation. All the elements in the output set need not be a part of the relation. But one condition satisfied is output set should be a part of the relation, and all the elements in the input set should be associated only to one element in the output set. These are the two conditions. Are you guys able to understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let's try to read the definition. So if you talk about, generally till now, relation was represented by the symbol R. Okay. Now relation R, so the same relation, instead of using R, if you start using F, that represents a function. Okay, that is a general notation that is used for us to understand. Okay, so that's why the definition starts like this. See, a relation F from where to where? From set A to set B is said to be a function under what condition? If every element of set A, that is why I'm using the, if every element of set A has one and only one image in set B, right? So that is one way. So did you understand what is one image?
No, sir.
So image means this is what is an image.
Which one, sir?
This 1, 2, and 3 are called as the images. So whichever is the element which is participating in the output set is called as an image. So for example, if I ask you in this question, what you can say is 1 is an image of A, 1 is an image of B, and 1 is an image of C. In a similar way, can you tell me what is the image in this set?
3 is an image of 5, 4 is an image of 6, 5 is an image of 7.
That's it. That's it. Simple. In this case, so in this case, 5 is an image of 25, minus 5 is also an image of 25. Okay. Similarly, in this case, in the first case, 2 is an image of 1, 3 is an image of 2, 4 is an image of 3, 5 is an image of 4, and 6 is an image of 5. Okay. The opposite of image is called as pre-image. Okay. So image is output, pre-image is input. So what I can say is 1 is a pre-image of 2, 2 is a pre-image of 3, 3 is a pre-image of 4, 4 is a pre-image, 5 is a pre-image of 6. Did you understand this? So are you guys able to understand this?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So generally it is written like this. One minute. Now see. In other words, a function f is a relation from non-empty set A to non-empty set B such that the domain of f is A and no two distinct ordered pairs in F have the same first element. That is what I was telling you. And one more important point is the domain should be A, means every element in A should be participating in the relation. Okay. So this is a point which is mostly ignored. That is why I'm trying to stress on it. Many people do this mistake. Okay. Next. If f is a function from A to B and A comma B belongs to F, F is nothing but the relation, then f of A is equal to B, where B is called as the image of A under F and A is called as the pre-image of B under F. So what they are trying to say is, if A is here, B is here, if A is related to B through F, then f of A is equal to B. Then B is called as the image and A is called as the pre-image. Okay, so B is the output, A is the input. So generally, the general representation for a function is like this. F is mapped from A to B. They write it like this. So a function f is mapped from A to B is what they write. Okay. Are you guys able to understand this part? Where?
Again, sir. F.
Sorry?
Can I say it again, sir?
F is mapped, M-A-P-P-E-D.
So what's, sir? I cannot hear it, sir. The voice
Mapped, M-A-P-P-E-D, mapped. F is mapped. Now is it clear?
Yes, sir. No, okay, sir.
Now I'm saying F is mapped from A to B. Mapped. Where set A is the domain set and set B is the range set. So this part I will teach you slowly. So we'll go slowly. Okay. So let me explain it. So keeping all these facts in mind, let's start with example 10. So let n be the set of natural numbers and the relation R be defined on n such that R is equal to x comma y, where y is equal to 2x. Okay, where y is equal to 2x and y belongs to n. What is the domain, codomain, and range? Is this relation a function is what they're asking. So R is equal to what? Can you tell me what is the relation? R is equal to x comma y, where x and y both are belonging to natural number. So when I take x as 1, y will be 2. When x is 2, y is
4.
3.
3 and 6.
6.
It keeps on going like this.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
It is an infinite set. Now tell me, what is the domain of this? Domain is
all
1,
natural
2,
numbers.
Domain is natural number. What is the codomain?
Even numbers.
Even natural numbers.
Codomain.
Oh,
All numbers, all natural numbers, sir.
Codomain is also all natural numbers only because x comma y both belong to. So input and output both belong to natural numbers. So y, I told you the second set is the codomain. So codomain is also natural numbers. What is the range?
Range is even natural numbers.
Yes, 2, 4, 6. It keeps on going like this. They able to understand. Now tell me, is this relation a function or not?
Yes, sir. It is a function.
Yes, it is. Because the first element is not the same for anything. The first element in the ordered pair is not the same. So it is a function. Okay. Next one. Let's do the 11th one. Examine whether the following relations given below in state and state in each case giving reasons whether it is a function or not. So you people do it. So r is equal to 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 2. This is a function.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So for it to be a function, the first element should not be the same. 2, 3, 4. Yes, it is a function. Second one?
No, sir.
No.
Because 2 and 2 are repeating. So second one is not a function. What about the third one?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Third is also a function. That's it. Okay. The next type of function that you deal in math is called as the real valued function. Okay. So real valued function is nothing but whose domain is real number. That's it. As simple as that. Okay.
So that means every function is a real value function, no, sir?
Not every function. No. I can give you an example. Yes, every function is a real value.
Okay, sir.
Unless they give you specific one. Every function is a real valued function. So what they are saying is, if the domain of the function is either the whole real number or a subset of real number, means if it is a natural number, if it is an integer, if it is irrational number, rational number, anything of that sort, it is a real value.
So as long as it's not imaginary number, it's
as long as it is not, yes, as long as for example, if at all you have a question where the discriminant is less than 0.
okay, sir. Understood.
Okay. So for example, x square plus x plus 0, if I ask you what x that is satisfied.
Sir, could you repeat? Your voice was breaking.
I wrote x square plus x plus 1 is equal to 0. So what are all the values of x that is satisfied? If you observe, the discriminant will be less than 0. But this doesn't mean it is not a real valued function. I'll explain what it is for you. Okay? So since you use the word imaginary numbers, I thought of explaining. But as of now, have this in your mind, every function is a real valued function. That is why if you see every question, no, it starts like this only. A real valued function, this one. A real valued function, this one.
Okay, sir. Understood, sir.
So, yeah, every question, yeah. So example 12 will be like this. Let n be the set of natural numbers. Define a real valued function. So define a real valued function f which is mapped from n to n such that f of x is equal to 2x plus 1. So this is the one which you did last year. I told you, the table. Instead of f of x, think it as y. So y is equal to x plus 1. So what will you do? You will draw the tabular column. You will substitute x value. So whenever you read a question, the important point I want you to concentrate is, especially the problem based on function. Relation is not a big issue. So when you say f is mapped from n to n, you always have to look at the first element. So what does the first element have to tell you? The first element tells you that you are supposed to give the inputs only as
natural numbers.
The second element tells you that the output you are supposed to get is also
natural number.
Means when you give the input as natural number, the output also should come out as natural. And you can look at it in the reverse also. If the output is already a natural number, according to this function, okay, if the output is already a natural number, then the input also should be a natural number. These are the two ways in which you can look at the same concept. Okay. So what they're asking is, let n be the set of natural numbers. Define a real valued function f mapped from n to n such that f of x is equal to 2x plus 1. Using this definition, complete the given table below. So this you can do it when you substitute x is equal to 1. What is the value of y you are going to get? Y is nothing but f of x. So when you substitute x is equal to 1, f of 1 is 3. F of 2 is 5. F of 3 is 7. It keeps on going. Are you able to understand this point? So this is what happens. So this is all about this particular question. Okay. Now, based on certain conditions and the expressions, there are different types of functions that are there in your syllabus. So this is also an important. Some functions and their graphs. So what are all the functions that you have? These are all real valued functions. Okay? So let R be the set of natural numbers defined by real valued function f mapped from R to R. What is the meaning of this?
The input is from as a real number and the output would also be a real number.
When you give a real number input, the output also should come out as a real number. It can be anything. It can be a whole number, natural number, anything of that sort. Okay. So that is the meaning. So f is mapped from R to R such that, see, generally f of x is written as y. Okay. So f of x is equal to, if at all I am able to define a relation f of x is equal to just x. Okay. So we will be using a symbol like this. This is read as for all values of. And in a V with a line like this. For all values of x that belong to R. Okay. For all values of x that belongs to R. I am writing it like this. Are you able to understand? So y is equal to f of x. And that f of x is equal to just x. Okay, for all values of x that belongs to R, then that type of a function is what is called as an identity function. Why we call it as identity function is because, see, generally the best way to observe a function is by plotting it on the graph sheet. Okay, that is the main reason why we are doing all these things. Are you able to understand? So if I say f of x is equal to x, then I told you f of x is always written as y. So this y means y coordinate, this x means x coordinate. So in this case, what will happen? When you substitute the value of x coordinate as 1, what will be the y coordinate? 1. So what will be the coordinate 1, 1? If you substitute the x value as 2.
2 will be y value.
So 2 will be the y value. So what you have to check is 1 belongs to real number, 1 also belongs to real number. So input belongs to real number, output also belongs to real number. Like that, if I keep on writing, how many such points can I write?
Infinity.
Infinite number of points. If I join all those infinite points, I will get a shape like this. The shape is nothing but a straight line which is passing through origin. Okay. So if you observe, the input and the output are identical. Right?
Yes, sir.
So that's why this function is named as identity function. Okay. So for every function going forward, for every function, what you need to do is you need to define the domain and its range. So here, what is the domain of this function? I've already told you. Domain is what? F is mapped from R to R. What is the domain here?
Real number.
Real numbers. Range is also real numbers.
Real number.
Okay. So that's what an identity function means. Second is a constant function. So if I'm able to define a function f of x is equal to c, f of x is equal to c, then this type of a function is what is called as a constant function. The meaning of this is, whatever is the value of x I'm going to substitute, the value of y is always a constant.
Constant.
Sir,
So for example,
sir, so identity function graph will be like graph will pass to the origin and knowledge is like in a graph will always pass to the origin, right? No, sir.
it will always pass through origin.
Okay.
It will always pass through origin. And I'll tell you an extra point, just have this in your mind. Okay. And the angle it makes with the x-axis is 45 degrees. You just have it in your mind.
Always, sir.
It is always. Because identity function is only y is equal to x. This is what is identity.
Yes, sir.
Y is equal to x is the identity. See, if suppose you see a question y is equal to 2x, this is not an identity function. Why is it not identity? Because when you substitute x as 1, y will come out as 2. what did I say for identity function should happen? The input and output should be the same numbers.
Same. Yes, sir.
So if that has to happen, y is equal to x. Y is equal to x is the only identity function throughout maths. Okay. Yeah. So if I give you a question, f of x is equal to 5, this is a constant function, because if you look at the right hand side, there is no term x in it. You're able to understand?
Yes.
There is no x in that. So whatever is the value of x that you're going to substitute, the value of y is always a constant. So,
But x value will be 0, no, sir, always.
it may not be. You can see, if I ask you what is f of 1, it is 5. F of 2 is 5. The meaning of it is, at x is equal to 1, the value of y is 5. So 1 comma 5 is the coordinate. The value of x is 2, so 2 comma 5 is the coordinate. So when you plot it on graph sheet, what will happen is, when you plot a constant function on graph sheet, it will be a line which is parallel to x-axis. When I say parallel to x-axis, it can either be above x-axis or below x-axis. For it to be below x-axis, sorry?
If you put f of 0, sir, then
F of 0 is how much?
0.
Why is 0? Here there is no x, no, it is only 5. Had it been 5x, then x is equal to 0.
Okay.
Yeah, it is only 5, no. It is, that's what I'm trying to say. It is not having x term at all. That is why it is a constant.
Okay, sir, understood.
Yeah. So 1 comma 5, 2 comma 5 keeps on going like this. So if the value of y coordinate is positive, so make a note of it, please. If the value of y coordinate is positive, the graph will be parallel to x-axis above it. Is that clear? Similar. If the value of coordinate is negative, if the value of y coordinate is negative, it will be parallel to x-axis below it. For example, if the question had been f of x is equal to -5, then the graph would have been like this. And what will this coordinate be? This coordinate will be 0, -5. So for example, if this question f of x is equal to 3, what will be the coordinate of this point? So what will be the coordinate of this point?
0, 2.
0,
2.5.
no.
2.5.
F of x is how much?
3.
Yeah.
0, 3. That's it.
3.
No, sir, I thought some number was hidden, sir.
No.
Sir, even me.
Okay. So this is all about identity function and a constant function. Okay. One last function that we will see for today is a polynomial function.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
sir, so for constant functions, graph will always be parallel.
Always be parallel only to y-axis, not to x-axis.
Yeah, only to y-axis.
Only to y-axis. Yes. Okay.
Sir, you told for x-axis only, no, sir.
Sir.
Parallel to x-axis only, sir.
Oh, did I say? Oh,
Yes, sir, you told y-axis.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. It will be parallel to x-axis. I'm sorry about it. It will be parallel to x-axis either above it or below it. For a constant function. It is never parallel to y-axis. Okay. So have this in your mind. Next is a polynomial function. So f is a function mapped from R to R is said to be a polynomial function. You know how what is the general expression for a polynomial function, right? So it is a naught x power n plus a1 x power n minus 1. Have you learned this last year? So this is what we call it as a polynomial of which degree?
Degree.
So polynomial means, if at all you guys don't remember, I'll explain it. Polynomial is nothing but an expression. An expression in terms of, or expression in combinations of constants and the variable raised to certain power. For example, 2x squared plus 3x plus 1. This is a polynomial. Of what degree?
Degree 2.
Degree 2. So 3x power 5 plus 6x squared plus 1. This is a polynomial. Right? This is a polynomial of degree 5. So last year you would have learned it as p of x is equal to. This year you are learning it as f of x is equal to. So if you see the polynomial, it is an expression. So what do you mean by an expression is, there are two things in maths we always use it. One is expression and the second is equation. Okay. Expression means it will have terms and each term will be a combination of constant and a variable. So here 2x square plus 3x plus 1, how many terms are there in it? How many terms are there? 2x square is one term, 3x is one term, and 1 is, there are 3 terms. And if you look at the first term is a combination of what? The first term is a combination of 2 and a variable x, which is raised to the power 2. If you look at the second term is a combination of 3 and the variable x raised to the power
1.
You're able to understand? So all these terms put together is what we call it as expression. Okay. But if I write the same expression 2x square plus 3x plus 1 is equal to 0, this becomes an equation. This equation is what is called as a quadratic equation. If there is no equal to symbol present, equal to 0 or equal to something, then that is not an equation, it is just an expression. So polynomial is nothing but an expression of certain terms.
So you can change an expression and equation, no sir?
Sorry?
You can change the expression and equation, right?
Right?
It's a 2x square plus 3x plus 1, sir. If we take 1 to RHS, then it is an equation.
2x square plus 3x plus 1. If I write it like this only, why will you take 1 to RHS? Where is RHS here? RHS of what?
1 is only constant, no sir?
1 is constant only, but which side will you take? See, you're not able to understand this point. If I write equal to 0, then I can speak about LHS and RHS. If I just write it as 2x square plus 3x plus 1, then where is RHS or where is LHS? There is no equal to symbol only. Which side will you say RHS and which side will you say LHS? Okay, you're able to understand this. So this is also one common mistake which people do. So they don't understand what is the difference between a polynomial and a quadratic equation. So if they ask you about this is just a second degree polynomial, that's it. If they ask you what is this is a quadratic equation. So understand that clearly. So if I try to give a general expression for it, how can I write? So by now you should have understood what is a polynomial.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Polynomial is good. Your polynomial is an expression. So expression of what? Constants and the variable raised to certain power. So a0 x power n plus some other constant a1 x raised to the power n minus 1, some other constant a2 x raised to the power n minus 2 plus so on till, if I write it like this, then this expression is what is called as a polynomial. And if I write it in terms of a function f of x, then this will become a polynomial function.
So I have a doubt.
Yeah, tell me.
Can we even write a difference? Like in a polynomial, there will be only one variable, whereas in an equation there can be one or more variables. In a polynomial,
Listen. Equation also has only one variable. I never told more than one variable. X square plus x plus 1 is equal to 0. This is what a quadratic equation. X plus 1 equal to 0. See, try to understand this. X plus 1, what is this?
X plus 1 is an expression, sir.
It's a polynomial of degree?
Degree 1.
If I put equal to 0, it become?
Equation.
What equation?
Equation
This is what you would have learned.
degree 1.
It is linear equation in one variable.
Yes, sir.
So
Even have linear equation in two variables, no, sir.
Equation x plus y plus 2 equal to 0. This is how you would have learned. You would have never dealt. You go and open your 10th standard book and see no question will be like x plus y plus 2 and they would have left.
Yes, sir. That's what I meant. In a polynomial, there will be only one variable. But in an equation, there can be more than one variable.
Yeah, it can be. Oh, that's what you were asking. I'm sorry.
That's what I asked, sir.
Yeah, it can be. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So this is what a polynomial function is. So x is the independent variable and y is the dependent variable. So this is the general expression for a polynomial function. So see, it's not something different. You have already learned this in the name of p of x, but this year we are writing it as f of x. And we are putting certain restrictions on it, calling it as domain and range. That's it. Input and output. That's it. It's not a very big task, right? So this is how a polynomial function is actually written. So next class, I will continue showing, I'll try to show you how these polynomial functions are to be considered and how the domain and ranges are to be calculated. Okay. So maximum one more class, we can complete this chapter. So I'll finish it by next class, okay? We'll see you guys. Any doubt till here?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, anyone with a doubt? This clear, we can wind up. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.